Hi, everyone. Today, I really want to focus us on the theme of energy vampires and discovering where exactly in our own story do we become our own energy vampire. Let me explain. You see, it's really, really easy to get good at identifying external people and external circumstances that drain our energy and make us feel a little demotivated towards action. And that's good. Part of the goal of the energy audit that I asked each of us to do was to really, really help us to sharpen our ability to identify people, situations, and circumstances that really suck our energy and make us feel demotivated and unable to focus on our highest priority tasks. But the truth is that sometimes we are the biggest energy vampires that are in the way of what we are looking to accomplish. So I was on a call recently with my executive coach, and she and I were walking through a certain scenario in my life, and I was explaining to her that I can't catch a break. It seems like I just keep going through these cycles where really, really good things are happening in my life, when at the same time, there are some really unfortunate things happening. And I kept saying to myself, well, when will I catch a break where everything would be okay? Because I had fallen into a specific pattern where anytime anything good was happening, I was beginning to expect that something bad was right around the corner. And so, because of that belief, I would start taking specific actions. And I saw that, well, I would lessen my ability to focus or lessen my devotion to do something because I felt like, well, it wouldn't work out anyway. You see, she pointed out to me in that session that I had become my own energy vampire. I didn't have a lack of motivation or a lack of knowledge and a lack of ability. What I lacked was the control over my internal talking. You see, many of us have great ambitions, we've got great skills, we've got great abilities, but our internal voice has believed a lie that has become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You see, with the help of my executive coach, I was able to change the way I view and talk about my situations. So instead of saying things like, oh, I never catch a break, I continue in the practice that I learned from my coach, which is I call everything good. Even the things that don't feel good, I call it good. And it's such a scriptural, biblical principle. You see, the Bible talks about God as a God who calls the things that be not as though they already are. And everything he created, he saw that it was good. He never called anything bad. Now, I want us to consider that if we're made in the image and likeness of God, the way God is the way we should be. And I just really, really felt that we couldn't conclude our discussions about energy without acknowledging the fact that sometimes we are our biggest energy vampire. We might have an ambition and an intention towards success and focus, but often when we analyze our internal thinking, when we analyze the words that we speak, when we analyze the things that we say about us, oftentimes we can see the seeds of where we went wrong. So I want to give you a few strategies for removing yourself from the list of energy vampires. Number one, I want you to do an audit of what the things that you say to yourself on a regular basis. I realized that I kept saying, I can't catch a break. I can't catch a break. And eventually that ended up manifesting in tiredness. And what happens when you don't take breaks? You get tired. What happens when you feel like you're constantly switched on? You get worn out, you get fatigued, you get anxious. You begin to invite worry and doubt and fear. And all of those things work to collectively to hold you down and stagnate you. So do an audit of what are the things you were saying to yourself. Number two, baptize every situation as good. I read a really old book. It's a book by Florence Scovel Shinn, and I'll share it in the resources. And in the book, she tells the story of a person who said that from henceforth he doesn't baptize children. This was a priest. In the story, she said that he decided that he no longer baptizes children, but he baptizes events. So anytime something that other people would call bad happens to him, he would baptize the situation as good in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I thought that that was such a interesting thing to try to do with myself, that anytime something happened that wasn't good. So, for example, the other day, I have a client who was supposed to pay me last year in December who hasn't paid me. And up till now, it's been over 6 months. I have a delayed invoice, and I remember just sitting down one day and saying, Lord, I thank you for this situation, and I baptize it as good. I declare that this situation is good for me. This is working together for my good. I know that this is good for me. Even though it doesn't feel good, even though I have a delayed expectation for this payment and all of the resources that I was going to direct into this project or that thing, I believe that this is good. So I thank you. And all of a sudden, by doing that, it just really changed my frame. In fact, I've been able to stop sweating about that payment. And I just know that when it's time for it to come, it will come. But I was not going to allow that situation to continue to be a vampire, sucking my energy, sucking my morale, and sucking the joy out of each and every day. You see, when we baptize a situation as good, now I use that word, I know it's a religious word, but the word baptize, meaning that you have to go through a process where you make a ceremony for yourself about the fact that from henceforth, this situation is no longer called bad, it is called good. There's just something powerful about acknowledging that to yourself and being able to change the name, assign a new name to the situations that have been holding you back for so long. And that's what I've decided to do with everything that troubles me, everything that brings me a little bit of disappointment. I baptize the situation as good because it is just such a powerful framing and such a powerful way to disassociate your energy from things that are designed to weigh you down in the moment, but could be opportunities to dig deeper into new ways of behaving and new ways of acknowledging if we would let it, right? The last strategy that I want to share with you about avoiding becoming your own energy vampire is be accountable to other people. For me, it's been invaluable to have a coach that I check in with once a week. I cannot tell you how valuable it has been for me to have every Tuesday morning for 2 hours a check in with my executive coach where we are checking in on the progress of my goals, checking in on my mental health and my state. Where am I on the activities that I have set out for myself? Having someone to be accountable to, especially someone who is trained in human behavior, really has helped me hear myself and pick up patterns and trains of thought that are destructive before they take root. And that's why I decided for the 52-day Renew Challenge to be a cohort based experience. Because as we go through these group coaching sessions together, we can channel to each other, learning from our shared experiences. We can call each other out on things that are beneath the standard of behavior that we've agreed for ourselves. And by giving other people a window into our lives, we really have the opportunity to grow together and course correct when we need so. So I hope that these three strategies help you to avoid becoming your own energy vampire, because this world is filled with so many things that compete for your time and attention. And the more adept you become, the more self aware you become at really paying attention to your internal thoughts and your words, the more you align those words with focus, the more you refuse to call anything bad, but speak good things over yourself and baptize situations as good, the more you'll begin to see that nothing weighs you down the way that it used to, because you are doing what Dr. Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People says. He says that each person has to carry their own weather. So when you apply these 3 strategies, it helps you to carry your own weather, your own energy force, so that you don't need someone else to encourage you. You can actually encourage yourself. You don't need other people to spark you and motivate you. You can spark and motivate yourself. So I hope this is a helpful teaching and reflection for you today as we continue to explore ways to manage our energies, conserve it, and multiply it. Today, we want to make sure that we do not become our own energy vampire. And I hope that you will join me in resolving to crown every situation as good and refusing the internal negative talk that really demotivates and de energizes us. Until next time, my friends, stay focused, stay committed. This 52-day journey will become what you make it. So I pray that God gives you the grace to remain faithful and true to every one of the commitments you've made. May you practice integrity with yourself, and may you become re energized and strong.